You're 55, 60, maybe 65. You've been riding for decades. You know bikes. But here's what nobody tells you. The bike that felt perfect at 40 can quietly become dangerous at 65. And most riders don't realize it until it's too late. Today we're talking about 7 motorcycles seniors genuinely love. Popular bikes. Iconic bikes. Bikes with incredible reputations. But every single one of them has a problem. A real one. The kind that shows up on the highway, in a parking lot, or after a 3-hour ride. Stay with me, because number 4 is the one most experienced riders get wrong. Number 1. The Harley Davidson Heritage Softtail. Classic. Gorgeous. American legend. Every senior rider has dreamed about this bike. Here's the problem. It weighs over 700 pounds. 700 pounds. And that weight sits low, which sounds great until you're backing it out of a driveway on a slight slope. One moment of lost balance. That's all it takes. The drop isn't the danger. The lift is. After 60, your lower back, your knees, they don't recover the way they used to. Riders who've owned this bike for 20 years are suddenly dropping it in parking lots. Not because they lost skill, because the bike didn't change, their body did. The Heritage Softail is beautiful. It's also merciless when it goes down. Number 2. The Honda Goldwing. This one surprises people. Every time. The Goldwing has a reputation as the ultimate senior touring bike. Comfortable seat, smooth engine, everything you need for long miles. But here's what nobody talks about. It weighs over 800 pounds. 800 pounds a motorcycle, with a low center of gravity that makes it feel lighter when you're moving. Key phrase, when you're moving. Stop that bike on a slight incline at a gas station. Try to hold it while you dismount. Or worse, try to push it back into a parking spot. That's where people regret their decision. The Goldwing rewards experienced riders in motion. It punishes everyone at low speed and standstill. And as we age, we spend a lot more time at low speed. Number 3. The Kawasaki Vulcan 1700. Here's what people believe. Big cruiser, low seat, relaxed riding position. Perfect for older riders, right? Wrong. Here's the problem. That relaxed position isn't relaxed for everyone. The forward controls push your legs out. Sounds comfortable for an hour. After 3 hours on the highway, your hips are locked. Your lower back is screaming, and you still have 200 miles to go. This is where it gets worse. Older riders often push through the pain because they've been riding for 40 years. They don't want to admit the bike is wrong for their body, so they ride through fatigue. Fatigue riders make bad decisions. Bad decisions at 70 miles per hour don't forgive you. The Vulcan 1700 isn't a bad bike, but its ergonomics quietly work against aging bodies on long rides. Number 4. The Yamaha V-Star 1300. This is the one experienced riders get wrong. They downsize from a bigger bike. They think smaller displacement, lighter feel, easier to manage. And in some ways, that's true. But here's the problem. The V-Star 1300 has a reputation for being beginner-friendly, which means the controls are designed for new riders. Throttle response is sharper than it feels. Braking requires more hand strength than it looks like. And the seat, comfortable for the first 90 minutes. After that, it becomes a punishment. Senior riders who've been on full-size touring bikes suddenly feel every bump, every road imperfection, because this bike doesn't absorb the road the way their old bike did. The last section of a long ride is where most near misses happen, because tired riders on uncomfortable seats lose focus. The V-Star 1300 is underestimated in all the wrong ways. Number 5. The Indian Scout. Beautiful bike. Incredible styling. Strong mid-range power. Here's the trap. The Scout looks manageable. It is manageable until it isn't. That power delivery is aggressive in the low to mid-range. Exactly where senior riders spend most of their time. Town riding. Intersections. Slow corners. A small throttle input at low speed can produce a surge that catches you off guard. Most riders adapt quickly when they're younger. Their reaction time handles it. After 60, reaction time is slower. Not dramatically, but enough. That small delay between surprise and response is where this bike creates problems. Nobody talks about this because the Scout is too cool to criticize. But cool doesn't keep you upright. Number 6. The BMW R 1250 GS. Here's where this gets uncomfortable. The GS is possibly the most celebrated motorcycle on Earth. Adventure touring legend, capable of everything. And senior riders love it because it makes them feel capable of everything too. Here's the problem. The seat height. Standard seat on the GS puts most riders on their toes. Shorter riders, especially riders who've lost an inch or two of height as they've aged, can barely touch the ground. And the GS weighs over 550 pounds. On gravel, on sand, on a dirt parking lot, that's a very heavy bike balancing on your tiptoes. The GS rewards genuine off-road skill and physical confidence. As those change with age, and they do change, the bike becomes increasingly unforgiving. This one gets worse the longer you ride it at the edge of your physical limits. Number 7. The Suzuki Boulevard M109R. Save this one for last, because this is the one that looks the safest. Low, mean, powerful cruiser, big engine, comfortable position. Here's the problem. 113 cubic inches of power. That engine pulls hard. And the M109R has a reputation, a well-earned reputation, for being a handful at the top of its power band. Senior riders who buy this bike often have decades of experience. They're not afraid of power. That's exactly the issue. Confidence around a powerful bike can turn into overconfidence. The M109R doesn't care how many years you've been riding. It responds to your inputs, and if those inputs are even slightly off at speed, the bike tells you immediately. Older riders with slower reflexes and reduced grip strength are working with less margin. The M109R gives you very little margin. Here's the truth. None of these bikes are bad. Some of them are genuinely legendary. But your body changes. Your reaction time changes. Your strength, your stamina, your grip, all of it changes. And the bike you've always wanted doesn't care about any of that. The smartest thing an experienced rider can do is be honest about what their body needs now, not what it needed 20 years ago. The riders who get hurt aren't the ones who lack experience. They're the ones who trusted their experience more than their current limits. Before you buy any of these bikes, test ride it. Fully loaded, in a parking lot, in traffic. See how it feels when you're tired. Because that's when riding gets real. Next video, we're covering the 7 motorcycles that actually get better with age. Bikes built for how seniors actually ride. You don't want to miss that one.